Hey, beautiful. Welcome to the Not Another Mom podcast. It's time to take that mom hat off because this is after hours and I'm making you off the clock. This podcast is here to help you know your worth because damn girl, you're a goddess who deserves to live the life of your dreams. I'm your host, Lesley Sprague, and we talk everything from manifesting to motherhood. Yes, those little monkeys will still creep in here or there. Spirituality to girl talk with your besties, and from business to finding that balance in life. I'm here to remind you that you are worth it. Life gets to be easy for you, and your dreams really can come true. So grab your favorite glass of wine, craft beer, or if you're a whiskey and diet kind of girl, grab that and let's get this show on the road. Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Not Just Another Mom podcast. I'm your host, Lesley, and today I have an amazing, super special guest, Brittney Jones of Brittney CEO. She is my coach and mentor, and I am so excited to have you here.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much for having me.
This seems so weird, like doing this like quote unquote formal intro when we've been chatting already like beforehand.
I know you guys were drinking mimosas. I don't know if we can say that on your podcast, but you know what I was thinking? I have recorded so many podcast episodes in my day, and every time I record one, I think we did this on the episode we did with you on my podcast. I was like, why aren't we having a glass of wine right now?
Yeah.
And guys, we finally did it. We are having a mimosa on a podcast.
Yes. It's a fucking Friday that we're recording this podcast. So like you have to.
Yeah, 100%.
All right. So I like to start off with a few little ball buster questions. They are icebreakers, but I've been told like they're really tricky. So I'm gonna switch to ball buster questions. I think
I'm literally laughing that you're calling it ball buster. I think that's amazing.
Oh, shit. Anyway, okay. So I saw this question and I'm like, oh, this is a good question for Brittney. What is the hardest part about working virtually for you? And then what is the easiest?
Oh, okay. The hardest part, the first answer that came to mind for me is I'm a recovering workaholic. So working virtually, it like never ends. Like you could do it all day, all night. You don't ever like walk away from it. So that would be the hardest. And the easiest is I can have a drink on a Friday morning and no one can really judge me for it.
Yes. Okay.
People are gonna think I'm an alcoholic. Like I never drink anymore, but
I hear you. I started doing like dry January and I'm like, this is gonna be good. Like I just felt like I needed, not that I was an alcoholic or anything.
Yeah.
But you know how you just feel like you need a little bit of a break, a timeout, kind of over it.
Yeah.
And I think I made it 7 days. So, you know.
Well, I was just going to say, you know what? When you're doing virtual learning at home, I don't really know that should ever be a goal people should set.
Well, this was back when it was only the 1 week at home. Right. So they sneak 2 weeks after 2 weeks on us now. This is the second round we've gone with.
Yeah. You know what it feels like? It's like when you're trying to leave a party, which we haven't done in years, but you're trying to leave a party and your husband's like, just one more. It's like the government is like, just one more.
Yeah.
One more.
just one more. One more. Oh goodness. I actually never have that problem because not that Tom's gonna listen to this, but he's usually like tired or falling asleep, and he's ready to go before me. So
You're lucky. Matt's like, one more. I'm like, one more, or like one more, six more. Like, which one more are we talking about here?
okay, this is always one of my favorites. What would your talent be if you were Miss World?
Oh, singing for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you have like a favorite person that you love to sing, genre?
Okay, Celine Dion, but because I actually like was a singer growing up, like
Really?
I was, yeah, I didn't tell you this?
No.
Like I competed against Justin Bieber when we were kids and I won.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I'm telling you the truth. I have a guitar in this closet beside me. I just don't use it.
Oh my God.
I know.
Oh, we're gonna have to like get together whenever we can get together. And I'm gonna have to hear this because
I don't sing for anyone I know, so it's gonna be a lost case there.
well, then I'll give you some more mimosas and I bet you can change that story.
I will give you my best performance in that state.
Oh goodness. Okay, one more. Okay, since we're talking about Justin Bieber, who is the better businessman and why? Justin Timberlake or Justin Bieber?
Oh, Justin Bieber, hands down. I don't know if it's him or his marketing team, but like they know what's up. He was like egging vehicles, and then they're like, we're going to throw out a documentary about you to make people love you again. And then he marries like a goddess who is like the sweetest lady ever, and Haley.
Yeah.
And that just like changes his reputation. Like they got this shit on wraps over there for sure, Justin Bieber.
Oh, interesting.
Uh-huh.
Very, very interesting. Okay. So, why don't we dive in and tell the listeners like a little bit about what you do, a little bit about your journey, all that kind of fun stuff.
Yeah, so I am a online business coach and I originally started out in the network marketing world, which I feel like a lot of people start out in that world. I know we share that. Yeah. So basically, like I didn't love my 9 to 5 job and I wanted to be able to create something for myself, which I know is something you guys talk a lot about here on this podcast. And so I originally started out over there. And then as I was growing my Instagram account, I fell in love with the world of social media and helping other people start their businesses. And that's kind of where things took off from there. But I did get my entrance in the network marketing world, which is not actually something I talk about a lot.
Yeah. And I think that's where a lot of people like you said start, because that's how they get a taste for the freedom, and
Totally.
that's what we're here for, is so that you can work less and have more fun in life.
And that's what they're good at in the network marketing world. Like you got to give them props. Like they really do open your eyes to like potential and what's possible and help you dream bigger. So I love that. I'm a huge fan of people getting their entrance in that way. I think it's clever.
Exactly. So what would you say to the person who is, craving something different? She maybe has a business idea, maybe she doesn't, but she just knows that there is more out there for her, that she is just craving more, but maybe doesn't know what that is. Like kind of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I totally know what you're saying because I've been in that spot before for sure. I thought about doing my business for so long before I actually did it, like years. And that's something that I hear so much from so many people. I would say the majority of people thought about it for a long time before they actually started it. And you'll commonly hear the story where they've dabbled in network marketing or thought about joining this company or whatever it might be, but then they also wanted to start a t-shirt brand or a yoga business or a coaching business or whatever it is, but they think about it for forever. And I was stuck in that spot and I wasted years. Like, I wish I had have just reached out for help way sooner than I did. So my first piece of advice would be to hire a coach. Like, Lesley's a really great start for that and such a good resource for that, because I love what you do. Like, you help people at the end of the day find what they're passionate about and show them that there's another way and help them discover what that is for them. It's not just a cookie cutter recipe, and you're so good at like helping people dream bigger and see the potential for themselves. And what I see happening when people first start their businesses is they're playing really small. One, because they have a ton of fears. Two, they don't really know what they're doing, as do like none of us do when we first start. And three, they're worried what their friends and family are thinking. So they're kind of like dipping one toe in, one toe out, and then nothing really gets off the ground. Nothing really gets started. It still feels like this little side cutesy little thing we're doing. Whereas if you can align yourself with a coach, someone like Lesley, who's like built to help you in this phase, like figure out what it is exactly you want to be doing, build a plan to get there, open your mind up to the possibilities, and help you with the mindset stuff. I want to say mindset junk because that's really what it is that goes along with it. You'll go so much further, so much quicker. And that's the only part of my journey I regret, is I waited way too long to hire a coach. I thought I had to be making money in my business already to hire someone, and that's just so not the case. Like, do it before you're ready, because that's how businesses are created. When you see those wild transformations online where all of a sudden someone you're following is posting about her 10K months and the car she just bought and whatever else she's manifesting, all that kind of stuff, she's hired a coach. She's got mentorship. When they go that quickly, it's because like you get to take someone's plan, follow their exact steps, and get there quicker instead of just like throwing spaghetti at the wall hoping that it's going to stick.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like I think that is similar to you. Like, I bet you I started and stopped variations of this business for over 10 years.
Yeah.
And like when I hired the coach and hired you, that's when I started believing in myself, because you not called me on my bullshit, but you gently pointed out the limiting mindset pieces that were coming up for me, and reminded me, like, it's like that cheerleader, because
Totally.
that support system, if your friends and family aren't there cheering you on, it's very lonely, and you begin to doubt yourself and question, and
Yeah.
that's what has done it. Like, it's
Yeah. And like your friends and family, like it's not to like knock them. It's just they're not designed for this. Like they might
yeah,
not know how to support you on this. Your friends and family go into protective mode when you do something new, and they think they're protecting you when they're telling you like you should be a little more cautious, or like,
mhm,
it's hard to start a business, or it takes a long time to be successful, or most businesses fail. Those are common things you hear when you start this journey from the people around you. And that's why it's so important that you have a support system, because you need a sounding board, for your ideas, for how to answer clients' questions, for the mindset drama that goes on. Like, if you're left to yourself to work through your own mindset junk on yourself, you won't continue. And that goes the same for me. Like, if
yeah,
I don't have a sounding board and people surrounding me that are going through the same things, that understand entrepreneurship and all of the mindset that goes with it, I would not be here today, because the mindset
yeah,
is the most challenging part of what we do.
yeah, exactly. And that's like, I would give up on myself so easily
Yeah.
if I wasn't focused on continually improving my thoughts, getting my thoughts to work for me. And you did the same thing. Like, instead of buying into the bullshit fake news story we sell ourselves, that
Yeah.
we're crap, and you know like
Yeah.
believing in ourselves and working with it, acknowledging how you're feeling, because we are freaking human too, right? So
Totally.
it happens. Like,
Yeah,
it's
it's
part of the
normal.
journey.
Yeah, it totally is. It's so normal. It's part of being a human. Not to mention this business journey is so overwhelming. Like there's so many things you need to know, and you'll start diving into podcasts and personal development and all these things, and all of a sudden you have a list of like 1,000 things you should be doing in
Oh my
business. And
god, that damn list.
right? How do you sort through that? Like a confused mind says no every single time. So as soon as you get overwhelmed, you won't do anything, myself included. That's just the way we're built as humans.
Yeah, and I do that all the time too. Like, I get overwhelmed and shut down. We are
Yeah,
done.
me too. Like there's a lot to it, especially when you add in the social media world, which is something new entrepreneurs have had to deal with. And then on top of that, you're like, is my selfie okay? Like, do I look weird in this? Like, am I posting too much? What's my uncle gonna think because I just posted twice about my business? Like the weirdest stuff we worry about on this journey.
Yeah. Oh, and it's funny too, like, but it's those unconscious beliefs that we may not be, that are sabotaging us too, because
Yeah.
if you resist the posting, speaking from experience here, um there's something going on inside, like underneath the roots, and in the roots, that's where you have to work and acknowledge, oh, I don't feel worthy to post this. I
Yeah.
don't want to be seen, so that I am not judged by, the people that love you. And like you said, they love you and they're trying to protect you.
Yeah.
So they have your best interests at heart, but it's
It just
like,
comes across in a weird way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Totally.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
this business journey can just be so lonely. So that's why I say like just get your support system, hire a coach. It will be the best investment you make in your business. The best.
and I found when I hired my coach, um, like, it's helps, like, you get excited of the possibilities that
Yeah.
you can create, the potential that can happen, and it's like you turn the light on in a dark room and you get to
Yes.
see all this potential and opportunities, instead
Totally.
of just focusing on the darkness and the negative.
Before I got into the coaching journey, I had no idea was actually possible for me for income. Like if we're just talking like strict measurements inside your business journey, at the beginning I was struggling to make 2K months, like struggling. Like I was below that. My taxes were crazy for that year when I go back and look at it. And like now I made over a half a million last year, and like I would have never even known that was possible. Therefore, I would have never worked towards it and I would have never got there. Like that doesn't happen by accident. You create the goal, create the dream and the vision, and then the plan to back that up. But I wasn't setting those kinds of goals before because I didn't even know that was possible.
Yeah, or there's the saying that you are the sum of the five
Yeah.
people you hang around with the most, or something like that. So if you're, and not to knock the people you hang around with or anything, but if they don't have those kinds of thoughts, like, your chances are you're not even going to think those either,
Totally.
right? So
Totally.
that's, it just opens up so much more possibilities. And I love having the second set of eyes on your business too, because it's comforting, and you get that reassurance. No, this really is like a good idea. Like, go with that.
Yep.
And
Yep. Yep.
instead of believing in or listening to the doubt and the worry, oh, is this right? Is this Yeah.
That was something too that like I had to understand, and it took me a little while. Like, you're not the only one that has those doubts and fears and worries. Like, I used to sit at home and be like,
Yeah.
you know what? Manifesting probably just doesn't work for me. I'm that one person that's just so full of doubt, so negative. It's just not going to work for me. And I used to think, like, wow, how are these people so confident? Like, I'm so worried that I'm going to screw up, or, I'm not going to know the answer to something, or I'm not going to be smart enough. And literally every single human being has those worries and those doubts. Every like person you look up to on Instagram, that literally runs in the background of their mind. They just understand how to turn those thoughts around and use them to their advantage instead. But it's like you won't not have those thoughts.
Yeah, exactly. No matter what, because when you think you've reached your goal destination, it just, you're never stopping that journey, because once you get to that destination, you have a new vantage point and you get to look out at the horizon from a new pair of eyes.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, well, I didn't know that that was possible, or this. And it, then you aspire for more greatness and more
totally.
goals and dreams and desires, and
Totally.
it
Yep.
shifts. Yeah.
It's crazy what you can do on this journey, but you just have to start. Like, just don't sit there and think about it forever. Like, reach out. Like, Lesley is so, I know I'm like selling Lesley, but I just want you to know that, like,
Well, I appreciate it.
it's safe. Like, it's safe to reach out. Like, I used to be scared to reach out to people. Like, just reach out and say, like, listen, I've been thinking about starting this business, or I want to start an online business, but I don't even know where to start, because until you reach out, it's not a real goal. It's not a real dream. It's just kind of sitting there in the background. And someone like Lesley can help you work through those things and sort through it. And you'll be so thankful later that you reached out. No one regrets reaching out to their
No,
coach ever.
no. And that's the thing too.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people might get, they get caught up in the, and I've been guilty of this before. You like make sure everything is perfect before you
Yeah.
reach out, for example. But you know what? If it's not the exact perfect way you want to have your business, the great news is you get to choose again,
Yeah.
and you can pivot it to how it works, how allowing it to light you up.
Yeah.
And you, that's the beauty of it. You get to pivot and change. And you know what? I'm not really feeling this anymore. I'm going to let that go. And I've done that many of times.
Yeah. You're going to pivot so much on this journey. Like, oh my gosh, you're going to change things so much. Like, one common thing I see happening at the beginning is like, well, I don't have a website yet, or I don't have a logo, or I don't have a business card. And it's just like, you don't need those things. I made my first six figures. I almost said 6 million. My foreshadowing.
Oh,
I I made my first six figures without a website. I know plenty of millionaires that are women in this industry that still don't have websites. So it's like, we use those things as crutches, and then we worry so much that they're perfect, but you're going to change them. I haven't worked with a single entrepreneur yet who hasn't like changed their website a million times, and their
I'm,
colors
yeah.
and
I think
yeah.
I'm on version 4, maybe. So, like, it's, and it's so funny. I've said this to you before, actually, and I think I actually did send you the link to my very first website from 2011. And it's so humbling to look back and
Yeah.
see that the messaging is still kind of similar. So
Yeah.
clearly, after 20 years, I still have the same desires and passions. So it's so funny to look back on those things.
Totally. And everyone has their first website, their first post on social media, their first whatever, like we all started out like that. We all started out with 0 followers, a website that no one cared about.
Yeah.
Just start, because you'll be so thankful you did. A year from now, looking back, you'll be so happy.
Yeah. And if you think that, your market is oversaturated, or what have you, somebody needs your specific expertise, and not just somebody, like lots of people, but because the other people don't have your viewpoint, your life lessons, your tools. Like, they might be similar, but it's still not your journey. Somebody needs you.
Yeah, they do. 100%.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think that is like the great way to like end this.
Yeah, good. Morgan can cut this little chunk and then we can do a
Yeah, because she can, like, somebody needs you. It's just
so good.
Mic drop. Anyway, well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. If people want to find out more about you, where is the best place to find you?
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, you guys. You can come follow me at Brittney CEO on Instagram and come say hi. Let me know that you listen to Lesley's podcast. I'm a fan, so we can bond over that. And thank you so much for having me.
Oh, this was awesome, and I just love having you here, and it was just great. So thank you very much. All right, and we will see you next week, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. If you loved this episode, will you do me a favor and help spread the love? Go ahead and leave a 5-star review and share this episode on your Insta stories. If we aren't yet connected on Instagram, come follow me at Lesley & Co XO. And since everybody spells my name wrong, that's Lesley & Co XO. And leave me a line and say hi. Have an amazing day, beautiful, and we'll catch you next week.